It's that time. We're back. What's up, everybody? You know who I am. I'm not going to do the intro. Fuck all that. It is not important. I'm here. You're here. My guest is here. He's my favorite metal vocalist. He's probably the most down to earth dude I know. Happens to be quite handsome as well. And he's also my favorite Twitch streamer. So I don't think I've had a guest check off that many milestones all at once. So I could sit here and tell you where I've been and what I've been up to. I still got Bell's palsy. I'm still living my life, still having a good time. But I love this show. I took a nice long break, and I'm really happy that my first guest back is the one and only Adam Warren. Adam,
What a
how are you doing, baby?
you need to fucking get into pro wrestling and be like a manager at least. I was watching that and I was like, that was just a clean ass promo right there.
I would love that. I would love that. So maybe I'll have to call Zicky Dice and be like, hey, do you need a manager or what, dude?
Or maybe I just need to get my black ass into pro wrestling.
Bro, there's some good schools up in your neck of the woods, dude.
Are there in Utah?
Yeah, there's I'll look it up for you. And then there's a couple good ones over there up, in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, how many years you think I'd have if I got myself
bro,
shit?
You could get at least 15 out, bro.
15 without feeling like shit after it?
Yeah, without feeling like shit. And then also, you probably, you barely look like you've aged since I met you. So you'll probably continue that. You know what I mean?
Oh no, so I'm gonna have like Benjamin Button syndrome. I'm just gonna start looking like a baby as I get older.
Yeah, that's even better, dude. Just imagine a baby wrestler, dude, beating the shit out of everybody.
A fat baby. That's gonna look like.
Well, Adam, my friend, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
This is just what I do. Joel Cupcake Live. I just have guests from all my walks of life. I'm a man that does, well, let's be honest, I do too many things in my life. So here we are. For those of you that don't know Adam, he is a superstar on Twitch. He's a partner. You can look him up at Adam on Earth _ he sings for probably like one of the top 3 deathcore bands in the world, Oceano.
In the world.
That's my personal list, and it's my show, Adam. So I don't really care.
All right.
If the watchers, listeners, viewers, I don't care if they agree.
If it makes them at least check it out, then fair.
They'll check it out. If they don't know who Oceano is, they've been living under a fucking rock. But that's not the point, But you know what? More importantly, Adam and I have been friends since what, 2008?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's like the first tours and stuff.
Yeah, because I know I met you in like 07, I want to say, at California Metal Fest.
Ah, yes.
With Ash and the girls. Yeah, I met you there. That was the first time.
Ash and the girls.
No, like the ladies and metal girls. Yeah,
it's like that's a cool title. Like that sounds like a band.
Oh, you know what it is? It's like they're like a doo-wop group, dude. Yeah, so I met you there, but then we toured together a few years later. I've gotten the pleasure of booking Oceano a few times, but Adam, I gotta know. This show is all about having fun and shooting the shit, and I want the deets, man. Like, how did you, a beautiful man from Chicago, get into the metal scene? Like what was your experience?
It was kind of like, I don't know, kind of like, it's like how, like, they say like the universe was created, just kind of came out of nothing, literally nothing more than just this happened to, like, I don't know, man. Like, I never like had really any friend. I just made friends with some kids. Essentially, the core of it was I made friends with some kids in middle school when I moved, and they were into metal, and I probably had heard like some rock. I'm not like, I wasn't ignorant to the different styles of music as a kid. It just was, I didn't listen to music at all. I was doing like creative stuff, so I didn't listen to music at all until middle school. And yeah, they were into like Slipknot and like 9 Inch Nails and Limp Bizkit, all the new metal and all the stuff, and
all the good stuff.
Yeah. totally good stuff. But I latched on to Slipknot the most, and that kind of just catapulted to listening to more music in that genre, and then heavier bands coming into, like, when metalcore came out, and just kind of just really immersing and learning that and getting into that. And then that just led to, obviously you want to like sing it. That's how I would see it, is like, as much as people like sing in the shower, sing,
Yeah.
I would figure, like, well, I want to sing along to some of this metal shit that I'm listening to too. So that's what became to just like practicing vocals. It wasn't anything more than just to like be able to do something comparable to what I was listening to, so I could sing it, and like rock
Yeah.
out with it and stuff. And so out of that, I was like, that's pretty cool. And from there, just led into my first couple local bands and stuff, and then Oceano, and that's how kind of metal fully encapsulated me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Oceano formed in Chicago, but is that where you're originally from?
Yeah, I'm from. I have to say, honestly, I say Chicago just because like I've just been all over, like, so yeah, Chicago is where the band started from, most specifically like northwest suburbs or north
Okay.
burbs. But over the years, is the different members and stuff, it's just easier to say Chicago
Oh
too.
no, yeah, trust me, I get it. Well, so you know how it is from Northern California. Everybody, you're either from the Bay or Sac. You
Yeah,
don't specify unless you're one of the kids like me, where you're from Santa Cruz, and then you're like, yeah, I'm from Santa Cruz.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, no, I get it. That's tight. That's tight. Well, what drew you to the metal scene? Like, what drew when did you guys start Oceano? Like, was that just a fun project, or was it like, did you know you wanted to do like try to make metal your career, or like what?
Well, I got into Oceano. It's just circumstances and right place, right time, and knowing when to pivot. Honestly, not really knowing when to pivot, just going for it, really. Just go. It was what is going for it, really. But
Yeah, yeah.
I was in a band already, and the Oceano existed. Um, I'm in the band now, so this might sound like I'm talking trash on my own band, but I don't really care because I am. Like I don't think it was very good, and even at that point, probably a little prior to that, I wasn't even that good. So it was like a joining of forces that I feel to kind of step it up a little bit.
It was like
So
you all had potential, and then you
yeah.
realized it like together. Like,
Yeah, because I got picked up through just a circumstance of I was a big AOL Instant Messenger kid. I was on all that shit when AOL came out. I was on
yeah.
it. So
Well,
I
I mean,
happened
I
to just
mean, I mean, who wasn't? Like,
yeah,
look at our age range. Like if you weren't on MySpace and AOL, why were you at shows? You were definitely not the
yeah.
cool kid.
I
You were
guess,
not
yeah.
in. You know what I mean? Like I like.
If you're in the scene, you were on it at
Yeah,
that
like
time.
like like we all did, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm still called Joel Cupcake, and at the ripe age of 35, bro. Because like I literally I tried to change my Instagram handle from that once, Adam, to use like my normal name,
Yeah.
and it was like the fucking world ended, bro. Like all like my friends that don't even call me that were like, "The fuck are you doing? Like, you good? What's wrong?"
Hey, you good?
And I'm like, all right, all right. I can't escape it at this point in time. Not that I want to, but anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so I ended up just making friends with one of the guitarists of Oceano at the time, Jeremy. And I think we kind of bonded through. He saw that my like screen name was Killswitch 916. And so like he was like, "Oh, I love Killswitch," and like because we exchanged like whatever screen names. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how it started. We bonded on like metalcore, really, like because metalcore was
Hmm.
still fresh, at the time,
Yeah.
even though there was like a grindcore like deathcore band in Chicago also like brewing. It was like I felt like Ocean at that time was just like in the cracks, like a spider just in the cracks,
Hmm.
still trying to, like just build up enough energy to really come out. Like that's how it was. So we just bonded on that, and it was really quick, like because I mean we're all young, but like
Yeah.
it was just like they had a few vocalists, they ran through a few, this is like high school band, I was a little older
Yeah.
than them. So like, they ran through a few vocalists in a matter of a couple weeks to months, and then they're locking in the lineup, and like the bassist went on vocals, and then like that didn't work out, and then so they were like they need a vocalist, and that's when he was just like, hey, you want to try out for the band, and then I was like, yeah, sure, because I liked the potential of it,
Yeah.
after I saw it after it sucked. like when it started to sound a little bit more when it
Oh,
started
that
to
was
sound a
good.
little bit more like it started to get the balls of Acacia Strain,
Mhm.
that's when I was like, yeah, because I was really into Acacia Strain at the time. I still
Well,
am,
and
but
I talked to a lot of people about this on the show. Like, I love the I call it mosh metal era, but like the pre-deathcore era, like before there was a name for it. You
yeah,
had like old Acacia Strain. You had the fucking ion. You had fucking. I mean, most people don't appreciate Ion Dissonance anymore. But like,
yeah,
if that band came out now, they'd literally be on top of the world.
I'd be
You
in
know what I
jail.
mean? Dude, the first time I saw that band, Adam, it was at. Do you remember the fucking Compound in Albuquerque? I
Yes.
saw them there. I saw
Whoa,
them
that's a
there.
war zone type of venue.
Point in case, dude. I saw them there. They played whatever that intro riff to Minus the Herd is. Like they start playing it, and it does that little like, and he hits the cymbal, and then the
Yeah.
riff goes off. The bass player literally like headbanged and just kicked a dude square in the forehead. Just some random dude at the front of the crowd. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And like that was back in the days when you had like the wild bands touring together, bro. Like
Yeah.
that tour was Ion Dissonance, Through the Eyes of the Dead with the OG
Oh,
singer and
nice.
Ed Gein, bro. Like
Oh,
I was like wild lineup. So there was like a super eclectic fan base there. I was there because Arsonist jumped on the show somehow.
oh, that's sick.
And so like those four bands together make negative sense together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, it was tight. Like the first time I saw Ion D, I was like I'd already known who they were, but I was like, this shit is just it's just rude. Like there's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
But like you grew up in that time with me, man. I mean, like I'm from the base. Like I had Animosity in the backyard, Taste of Blood or in the
Yeah.
backyard. You know what
Nice.
I mean? And then there's like, I'm the big simp for Moria, the band from out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but they fit in that category too. And then you got like See You Next Tuesday. You have damn, what's that other band from out your direction? Like something with robots, dude. Why can I not remember?
Robot.
Like they used to play what is that, Dirt Fest and stuff like that. Like you had a lot of those bands. There's a
Mhm.
lot of like the grind, like slam weird crossover shit that was like real big in the Midwest. And it's like people don't realize that like deathcore is like a new term, you know?
Yeah. It's
Like
still new.
we literally got to watch it happen, bro.
I don't know. Is it good or bad? Because now where are we at now?
I mean, it's still here. I mean, look at you got bands like Body Snatcher, Slaughter to Prevail, Spite,
Yeah.
all like killing the game. You still got the bands like you guys. I mean, I don't really consider Suicide Silence deathcore anymore, but
There.
they're
Yeah.
more like a metal band,
Oh,
not in like a bad way. You know
I
what I mean? Like
I don't.
like
I wouldn't want to hear that.
well, you know what? Eddie, I'll buy him a beer. It's fine, dude. Like if he watches this, which he won't, like they have a lot of the new metal influence and they've gone back a little bit more to their
Yeah.
roots, but
I don't mind it.
I mean, they're more like Killswitch Engage than they are like fucking Despised Icon. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of bands that have tried to that have been doing like an evolution out of deathcore, kind of blending in some other styles. Just a random thought. I feel like a lot of the bands really damned themselves because of the name choices. Though the name choices are sick for deathcore, it makes it really
Yes.
hard for like, like if you have nothing against them, but just like I always thought of this like Whitechapel under like I don't know, think of like some huge, like I don't know, Daughtry or some shit. Like it kind of would be like cool, but then like normal people are gonna be like, oh, Whitechapel, click, 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 and then they're gonna see what the origin of Whitechapel is.
They're
And
like,
Jack
no,
the Ripper, oh my god, what's going on? I think
yeah, you're like, I'm way too scared of this shit.
they need to do what they need to do is do Whitechapel. They need to just add another L
Oh,
and do that little accent, like
and
make it
all
like
and all
French.
moved, and then they all moved to Paris, and then they're good, dude. Like, it's great, dude. It's great. I could see most of those boys living out there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Oh my
Weiss
god, that'd be
Chappelle.
that would oh gosh,
It would
that'd be
flow off the
hilarious.
tongue beautifully.
It would just roll right out of the mouth. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah, but no, you know what? You're right with like the name crossovers. Like, I think one of the smarter bands of our time is our boys. We're both friends with them, the Volumes guys.
Yeah, great
You
name.
know, because that band has like they've progressed. Every album has sounded a little bit different, and you know now they're doing tours that they probably wouldn't have done 10 years ago,
Yeah,
and they're more accepted because that name Volumes and even their logo. It's never been like some wildly obtruse, like brutal metal logo that you can't read. You
yeah.
know, like they've always had this clean artistic
They're
flair to them.
they're different. I don't know if anyone hears this, in my humble opinion, I think that Volumes is one of like the most special bands in like our scene because of
Mhm,
how like I always talk about this, but what latched me on him was like those boys are like the vibe of what I see when I played Cali shows, like the swag,
mhm,
because
mhm, yeah,
there's, you're talking about regions, all the different regions, had different styles, different kind of tendencies and shit. And like,
yeah,
I noticed, coming over to the West Coast a lot, you had still like the fucking influence of, like that like Compton style, like
mhm,
the old school
mhm,
90s Compton style in the hardcore scene. Cause like the hardcore kids would go to every show, they didn't really like,
yeah,
they would go to like slam, hardcore, metal. If they fuck with it, they fuck with it. And that was the
yeah,
coolest thing is like if you have those kids that are like that, like the kids that kind of dress like Volumes and shit, I felt and look had that vibe. If you had those kids at the show, that like you're like doing something right. Cause they don't
yeah,
fuck with just anything. It's gotta be like
yeah.
wavy.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's yeah. And plus, I mean, now they got like let's just talk about it for a second. I mean, dude, Mike Terry is immensely as a vocalist underrated. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I happen to enjoy partying with the man as well, but you know, like as a vocalist, I mean, like let's be honest, bro. That self-titled "Bury Your Dead" record is one of the best records ever put out. Like of any band trying to do the like new metal esque sound, you
Yeah.
know, that came from our scene. Let's just put it like that. That self-titled record was like fire, dude. At least in my opinion.
I think you and me are boys, so we'll just we'll throw the tongues which way, but not like making out. I mean, like talking. No, we'll make out too. No, but I hot take. I think that true like the music fans that are in the metal scene, like white people like them some silky, soulful voice in their metal.
I mean,
Think about it. Think
not,
about it.
not. I mean, you're. I'm not going to argue with you. Look at why do you think
Goaded.
Killswitch Engage?
Yep. I was gonna say, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say why
yeah.
do you think Killswitch Engage is one of the biggest bands on the face of the planet? And like,
Goaded.
no disrespect to the current lineup, but we all know like that soothing voice that Howard Jones had is what put that band on top.
Yeah.
I mean, Holy Diver is potentially the best cover ever, literally just because it's Howard Jones singing it.
Yeah, he cracked that one. He fucking yeah.
Like, do you know how many people I know that like don't exist in our world? What? And I mentioned Killswitch Engage. They're like, "Oh, that's the band that did the Holy Diver cover, right?" And I'm like, "How the fuck?" Like, you have zero exposure to the metal world, and even you know that. You know what I mean? Like, but yes, we do love it. I love it.
Yeah. I think he even like I mean and not even taking like the color out of it, like Issues, one of my favorite bands. Like
Oh
I'm a
yeah,
sucker.
you love that band.
Yeah. Yeah.
You simp that band hard, dude. I
I,
know this
I
story.
I'm I'm worried about them, but I think they're all right. But I they're one of my favorites, so I hope they get someone comparable.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And then
yeah,
I don't
that
know.
the
I
R and
heard
B
that.
vibes.
Oh, dude, I love the art. Like it's that West Coast culture is just different, man. You know, it's one of the
Mhm.
things I love about being from out here, and it has you know for better or for worse. There are definitely some elements of it that bleed over that I'm like, oh god damn it. But you know what I mean. It's all good, dude. It's fun. It's a good ass time. But yeah, man, we got real off track. I just started going off about deathcore and pre-deathcore and all
Hey,
this stuff.
it's all good.
What would you say like when you guys were honing in that Oceano sound? Like what were
Mhm.
some of your guys' influences?
influences.
Back then, not now. Not now. I don't
Yeah,
want to talk
yeah.
about Adam now. I want to talk about like little BB Adam.
Fuck him. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, Adam.
Oh, this would be like the kid. This would be like the kid me looking at the adult me and being like, "Fuck you," like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't care how cool you are. All right.
Yes, exactly. You literally nailed that perfectly. That's the vibe I want.
I def because we have to do one of those, like for fans of on the Depths album. But I'm gonna try and go off of like what I remember, like the dudes, like being into. And I think just briefly to describe it, because I don't want to like band or two won't really do it justice. So I'll quickly, Jeremy, the guitarist or at the time of Depths and prior. So Jeremy was into here's what I'll say. I remember Jeremy would always wear like Cannibal Corpse shirts. He had some of the oldest, like coolest Cattle Decap shirts. Like I remember he had like I remember the one shirt he wore a lot. It was like Bukkake Tsunami, Cattle Decap, and it was just like, this is disgusting. This is okay.
Yeah.
But the shirt had like little cow spermies and like tsunami and like a cow spermies in a raining down on like humans and stuff. I think their like skin was like fucking melting and shit. Yeah. Which that was just side note, seeing that type of merch was what kind of influenced the certain like eras of Oceano merch. Was like, I knew the dudes would like, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. The art with just the super, just crazy fucking scenarios going out. I love that shit. All right. Anyways, sorry. So that's very much explains Jeremy's vibe. He was into some of the most underground, like grind and like death metal and shit. He was a scene kid at heart, but he knew his shit. And then so at the time in the band, so then Andy or Andrew, he was kind of like me. He was into like really like moshy stuff, like heavy Acacia Strain stuff. But then he also like loved like probably stuff around the lines of like Gojira, but obviously Meshuggah. So he's still very knowledgeable on like the stuff that really, really fucking is like sick.
Well, let's be honest. If you're in a metal band and you don't fuck with Meshuggah, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't care. I don't care if that upsets people with that statement. Like,
no, I can align with that.
Yeah.
There's some certain like totems of metal that if you at least can't appreciate them, you're gonna get judged a little bit.
Yeah, and they're one.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrew was into like stuff like that. And also like he was into like a lot of like eclectic stuff. Like I don't know, he was one of those guys, like it's not a jab at all, but he was like one of those guys whether he was like trying hard to do so or not. He'd be like the guy that would like he'd go to like drink wine by himself and then like chill at like a bar and then like in one ear have like some fucking like some black metal playing, like I don't know, just because like he just do like weird shit, but he would like his music taste was pretty solid. It was I think it was one of the solid groundings for the like the bringing the beef era of Oceano was him. He had a lot of vibes in him.
That was the era I met you, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then drummer at the time of like Depths era was Danny, and it was a great mix of like influence. I'll say that, like looking at it outward or outside in, great mix. So Danny was more into like underground punk, ska, like hardcore, both the heavyweights of hardcore and the underground shit, like and he was just into anything, but he wasn't as like into death metal from the jump. I feel like he was getting more into it, and he played in this band Jerome, and I remember I met him when he was in this other band. I don't know what it's called, but it was he was in a hardcore band, and I saw him in my hood, further away from where he's from. And then maybe a couple months later, I saw him in another band, and it was Jerome, and he was fucking insane for that time and that age, for that, you know, how early deathcore was, if it was even there. Like, just he dude, he sucked, you know, like in the hardcore band. And then in Jerome, he was like, you know, like he was drastically different drummer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like he was sick. And so I think he had a lot of that hardcore kind of like influence and kind of
Hmm.
like that solid in the pocket hardcore type
It's
of
in the
drumming.
pocket, like very snappy. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He had that, and then when he got more into like death metal and shit, then that it was just, and so that's how,
Well,
you know,
that's
I think that explains him, you know, like his influences and shit. So that's all the influences. Then to me, I mean, I liked all of that shit, you know, all that shit
yeah,
that they're listening to. Some was more influenced by than others, but I guess originally I came from like metalcore, you know, pretty
yeah.
much. So I think I was just pretty much like metalcore, new metal, certain bands, and then like the death metal thing was like newer to me.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Yeah, that's funny how you described the drummer. I feel like, my one of my like top metalcore bands of all time, Adam, is the Bled.
Ooh,
And
nice.
if you listen to Past the Flask, like the drumming he does on that record is not metalcore drumming, like at
Mm,
all. So it's
yeah,
like I feel like those are a lot of the bands that stand out. Like, look at fucking Despised Icon. Like that fool, that yeah, he's an insane death metal drummer, but some of the licks and fills he does, you can tell he listens to fucking like Hatebreed and Comeback Kid and like shit along those lines as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the good deathcore bands were like that. Like Arsonist is a great example. Garen's favorite drummer of all time is the fucking dude from Comeback Kid. You know
ooh,
what I mean?
nice.
And so he like loves those fills and those rolls, and that's why
Oh
like
yeah,
in between the breakdowns, Arsonist always had the most wonky like drum parts because he was like, I know what I'm writing, but I'm also playing what I love. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So that's good. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And did you guys put out an EP with you on vocals before Depths, like before you got signed, or no?
I mean, you could call it EP. It was, I mean, at the time it was weird, you know, because what the home like scene was getting was not necessarily what everyone else was seeing and getting. So
Hmm.
for us locally, it was the first thing I was on for Oceano was a 2 song like demo. It was literally just Oceano demo, whatever year, 2000, I
Yeah.
don't know fucking what it was, shit. But but yeah, so local scene we had released a demo, and we did like, you know, a release, kind of like a release show, but I think we did it with some other bands, so we all were like dropping shit at the time, and so people could buy our demo for like, I think it was like $2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then but everyone else got the MySpace
Oh yeah.
songs. They got that was the first versions of Samael the Destroyer and Empathy for Leviathan were, they were like, I guess you could call it like a, you know, like a digital release at the time before we knew what the fuck that was, you know. Like
Yeah,
that was, it
yeah,
wasn't a digital exclusive for everyone else, but it was like a limited run, you know,
yeah.
print for local.
The locals. Yeah. Well, like I hate the term limited and all that stuff, especially dude back in the MySpace days. Like things were just easier. I'm just gonna say it like that. They were just easier. It was easier to be a band. It was easier to be a fucking promoter. It was easier to find new music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Tom, I don't know where you went, you motherfucker, but please come back. Like
Them
imagine if we just had OG MySpace back, Adam, like before it got all convoluted with ads and bullshit. Like nobody would use it.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like there'd be 0 point.
Yeah. It was, I think that if they would at least have like, if they would have had the foresight to just see that Facebook was just going to destroy them, I think if they would have had the foresight to pivot and then become the number one source for discovering music, they would have been the first to hit the Spotify idea.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were so focused on like a place. What was the logo before we stopped using it? It was like MySpace, a place for friends. I think was what it was. Like
Was it? Is
what the
that what
fuck?
Facebook is? No,
No, that's not what Facebook is. Like if you Google like an old MySpace logo. It's like the three heads with headphones
Yeah.
on,
Okay, that's
and then
what I'm
I'm pretty
thinking.
sure it said a place for friends.
All
I'm
right, all
pretty
right.
sure that's what
That's what
I
I'm
could be
thinking
wrong,
too. I thought I've seen that too.
but it was like, but everybody went there for music. Like, I mean, I literally would not have been able to be a promoter or have any success in the music industry without MySpace.
Yeah, same.
Like 100%. You know, so
And there's a ton of
well,
artists that still say that too.
oh
Like
yeah,
bigger artists.
oh yeah, oh
Did
yeah.
you
I mean,
I
a
was
lot of. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna did you speaking of MySpace, they did kind of do something. Did you see when like I don't know if he still owns it, but Justin Timberlake owned it or owns it? Did you see that? It was like
Yeah, he
years
bought
ago.
into it, and they were gonna try to do like a little resurgence, and then I just think that I think the bones are just gone of that.
Yeah.
Like I think it's so they tried to like make it so modern that people just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You
He
know?
was he was leaning into the music thing though, so he had the right
Yeah,
idea. He knew he it's just too late, too
yeah.
fucking late.
Way too late. Way too. I mean, yeah. Like the only way if they just brought it back the way it was, it'd be amazing. I don't know why it can't be that hard. You know what I mean?
You think people would it would be a specific generation though of
Yeah,
people that would really run.
but if it had the tools that made it successful, like the ability to like message, you know, because like on Facebook, it's still like nigh impossible to go to the guest list of an event and send a message just to the people clicking going. You know, you have to go do this like targeted, like more like it's more like through ad targeting and shit now.
Oh,
You know, like
really?
MySpace had tools like that. The whole song on your profile, the whole like, hey, you come and here's music immediately. You don't have to go click through a player or click through a link. Like the how easy it was to contact, like the notifications weren't overbearing, like everything was done. I mean, like maybe it's because the technology was older, but like in my opinion, everything was just done perfect with that platform.
Would you pay for that?
Oh hell yeah, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, I think
100%. I don't
it's
pay
one
for
of
anything these days. You know that. And like I would 100% pay for that.
yeah, I think that's the way it would have to be is like people would have to buy into it so there wouldn't be ads, there wouldn't be any of that fucking yeah, Google AdSense type of bullshit going on. It'd just
Yeah.
be straight product, straight interaction, straight music,
Yeah.
like
Well,
all that
that'd be
shit.
the other problem is whoever was at the top would have to be willing to say no
Yeah.
to all that because that's the
Yep.
thing is everything just ends up owned by one of the three media empires, and then
Actually, yeah.
that's when it all falls apart. You
The
know?
money becomes too tempting at certain points, and it kind of
Yeah,
always does when you start thinking about yourself and your
I
family and
know.
all that shit. As long as
Well,
it's not like the worst thing in the world.
and that's why TikTok is so big because it's not owned by an American.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, because like if MySpace or wow, MySpace, Jesus, nuts in my brain, Adam, nuts in my brain. You know, if like Facebook or Google or Amazon owned TikTok, it would be changed radically,
I feel you.
and
Yeah.
and people would be like, "What is this?" I mean, like, dude, like, you know, I go on the Instagram. I'll go on the Instagram just to promote like my other podcast about video games, you know, and like I'll see ads of like half naked women, like you know, massage sets to pleasure your woman, and like all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm on a podcast's Instagram page.
Ah,
Like, how does any of this make like the ads don't even make sense,
it's
you
targeting
know?
you because you're a married man. It's telling you maybe some early Valentine's Day gifts
Yeah, I guess. I
or
mean,
Christmas
shit,
gifts.
dude. I guess like who
It
fucking
knows
knows?
you. The algorithm. It's got its
I know.
claws into you.
It does. It does. It does. I actually just deactivated my Facebook yesterday.
What?
Yeah, I'm taking a little breaky break right now, and like, yeah.
For good? I guess
We'll
you
see.
can never
We'll
be
see.
for good.
Well, it's hard with the work we do. You know that.
Yeah,
You know what I
same.
mean? It's like real hard. Like, luckily, I have a great team behind me at Pinup, so I know like the shows will be promoted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
just, you know, I'm taking a little. I'm taking December off. I just need some time to breathe. There's some things in my life that normally bring me joy that don't bring me joy right now. And I
Mhm.
realized that this week. And I'm like, well, why is that? Because I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, okay, word. And I just shrug it off. Like, no, I want to know why. Like, I would like a little bit of growth out of this discovery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's all good. It's all good. Well, let's talk. I want to ask one question, and then we'll move away from Oceano. All right.
No sweat.
How did like So I remember I found out about your band because you were just like the insane, like over the top, like brutal vocalist that also happened to be like a scary looking black dude. You know, like I feel like that was like what people on the West Coast at least were like, oh, check this out. This shit's it. He's brutal. He's insane. He looks fucking mad scary. Like this is so fucking heavy. Like it's grotesque. Da, da, da. You know, like people like where you're people were like freaking out about your lows and stuff. Like how did you develop the vocal style you have? And like do you feel like that had a lot to do with like the push the band received?
I guess I would not to answer the second question first. I guess I wouldn't know until I hear things like that. I usually don't yeah, I don't really gas myself up until I start hearing what people think,
Ah,
like
okay.
hopefully it's honest, So like at the time, we're for fresh, we're new. The thing I heard the most, which wasn't that much, but if I really looked around and opened my ears, is mostly like the loudest people were the people talking shit, and I'm sure it's because of multiple reasons,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, I kind of not really I really wasn't focused on that, but I just used that
Hmm.
shit to fuel me more than the
Good.
positive stuff. Because the positive stuff I felt would just make me like complacent, and I was from just a young age, just challenge yourself. So as
Good.
far as developing the vocals, that's I think what it really came from was challenging myself to like in my head, you know, hit comparable ranges to some of my favorite artists or musicians or
Okay.
vocalists. So, I had my favorite bands that were doing like a lot of the harsh vocals and stuff. So I kind of just went with that as a template for where to start. Cause like, if these motherfuckers are good, I'm not to mimic them, but just like if I can kind of hear how they're doing it and start mastering my own techniques around like how they're doing it, that's just the best reference that I
Yeah.
have. There's no one teaching this shit. You had Melissa Cross stuff just coming out right then, and that was the Zen of Screaming shit, but it still
Hmm.
showed you a lot of the dudes at the time. There's a lot of dudes in it that were like people I looked up to that were doing vocals. So I just went that route, and just like it was mostly from like hanging around and at home when I was like off, and then when it went to like college, I was just in my dorm because I didn't have a roommate, and I had this huge ass fucking like what is it, the eight, what is it, like the eight, remember those, it has like the eight CDs or six
Oh, it
CDs.
like spins the discs
Yeah.
for you. Yeah,
I had
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those fuckers, huge ones with a subwoofer and shit, so I just cranked that shit and I just screamed to metal and shit and just practice. So it was like
That's sick.
for Lowe's specifically, uh there wasn't a lot that I was listening to because I wasn't heavy into death metal at the time. So like
Mm.
I just liked Lowe's because they were just so infrequent in metalcore, but you had certain moments where people would kind of hit a little lower than their
Yeah,
like mid
yeah.
range. And I was like, ooh, this is cool. Like how can we expand on that? Because that's sick. And um I think it was I don't know how I got into this shit early, but like on Broken Wings was a band that I think
Yeah.
that is very underrated and no one talks about, and they need to, because I think they're one of those bands that I think like kind of did a vibe of like blending, like they were a different type of deathcore, though I wouldn't call them deathcore, but at moments they could be, where they just
Mhm.
blended that like tough guy, East Coast hardcore, which kind of blended to metalcore, and then they had like blast beats and parts and shit,
Yeah.
like I know, like that band is crazy. And so
That
like
band
when I heard,
is
yeah,
yeah.
when like what is that dude's name, John, I don't
Yeah,
remember,
John.
but when he started doing those lows and parts and shit, I was like
Mhm.
I was like, that's sick. And then like there was a couple songs on the older Kill Switch stuff with Jesse, kudos to Jesse, where he was hitting some like kind of cooler low. I think one of them Sons of Man, or the Sons of
Mhm.
Man, and he hits these kind of like cool like lows that he never does. And I was like, those are kind of the songs and
Yeah.
the bands that I was like using to kind of just like work on that scoop. That's how all I can really say it
That's
is.
no, that's sick. I love that. And like cuz that was like I remember the first time I finally saw you guys, I was like your lows. I was like this is like, that was in the era of like the adjective everyone used was brutal. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you were like I was like this shit is like dumb heavy, and like I, you know me, like I love heavy music, but I'm not a violent person. But I was like, he makes me want to go fucking sock someone in the face. You know what I mean? And like I don't say that about very many bands, you know, like and so it was like and then we did that tour together every night, and like, you know, I don't know if you realized this, you were literally the only band I actually watched every night. Because like you were, it was just too you the I don't know, man. Like, you know, I feel weird when I gaslight my own guests, you know, like gas you up. Not gaslight, sorry, gas
Yeah,
up. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I hope you feel weird with that one.
Yeah, no, I was like, wrong adjective. Sorry. Brain's a little slow today. But yeah, man, like you just I was like, I'll gas you up all day, man. Like I love your vocal style, like and your
Thanks.
stage presence. Like you got it down. Like you are like when people tell me like what kind of frontman do you like, I literally always tell them you. Like you,
Wow, thanks.
Vincent,
Yeah, he's
fucking
good.
Corey Taylor,
Very good.
fucking
Yeah.
and if I was gonna go with like a new person, like fucking, you know, who's got you we know who's got it in the bag. Our boy, dude. Fucking Darius is like from Spite is like the
Yeah, he's
perfect
good.
front man. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
the best, like, right out the gate for, like, a band that's
yes.
still growing.
Oh yeah. That band is gonna be on top of the world in the next 5 years. Like for sure.
Yeah.
So and especially they just got signed to Rise. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it was a little bit ago now. It kinda, like,
Yeah.
faded because of the pandemic, but I did notice that.
That stupid pesky pandemic, right?
Yeah.
But well, you know, so you know, we've been friends for a while, but we reconnected over the last couple of years. Really, you know, we did a few Oceano shows. You and I got that rad tour of the fucking IGN office, which was insane. You know, I still come across those pictures on my phone. And I'm like, man, this was a good ass day,
Me
dude.
too.
But you know, we've reconnected over the last 2 years because of Twitch. So like, you know, hit me with that. Like, just let everybody know. Like, what do you? How did you find the Twitch platform, and what do you like about it?
I found the Twitch platform through, uh, the Oceano community of listeners and, supporters of the band. Eh, it was like one of those things where, like, it's a lo I'm trying to condense this.
No, I mean
There's
we
always
got time.
backstory.
We got time.
So, like, you know, I just I needed a hobby, and I picked up the gaming stuff because of that, because it was something I was really into as a
Mhm,
kid, and you know, it was a pivot out of that shit because I wanted to do, like, sports and, you know, be more proactive as a kid
mhm,
and stuff like
mhm.
that, and just, you know, not just do that. So I kinda just moved on from it for, quite a bit, and so when I needed just something to do, I was just doing nothing, and that's just, once again, you know, love my mom for the shit she's taught me that I didn't believe when I was younger, but like she's just like, you know, she just didn't want me sitting and fucking around, you know, like just doing nothing, you know. So from that, you know, I just one point became quite self-aware in the fact that I was like, I'm just sitting around doing nothing when I'm like off tour, like, you know, whether it's like, you know, whatever, just do something. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick up a new hobby. You know, like I need a new hobby, something to break away. And
Mhm.
that's where the
Yeah, yeah,
gaming
yeah.
came. Gaming came from that and grew into collecting it. And so at that point, a few people, I don't remember who, they just, you know, here and there, I'd meet people at shows and stuff, or like people would just, you know, say something to me on the internet, like, check out Twitch, man, check out Twitch, check out Twitch. Quite a few, but not enough to really be like, damn, what the fuck would they know? But just like enough to be like, I don't know, maybe one day.
Yeah, yeah.
And eventually got to the point where, you know, I finally did see Twitch, you know, without trying to, because my housemates would started watching it a lot, and I was just like, oh, and I just started poking in problems. Like a lot of people telling me to check this out, and that's how I started to learn it. You know, like kind of like a curious cat from afar, a curious animal,
Mhm,
just
mhm, mhm.
looking at it, you know, sniffing it out, and that's what it was. And I saw Doctor Disrespect, and that was like the connect of like, oh, this is kind of like pro wrestling. I used to
Yes.
love pro wrestling. I love like being a character and being goofy and doing skits. I did a ton of that shit, you know, in school with my friends. You know, like it just started to really just mesh where it's like this is bigger than gaming. I always knew that. It's like it was bigger than game. I don't know how, but this guy knows what the fuck he's doing because he chose to be a character. It's like, you know, like I think I talked about it another time before, but like it's like when you go when I was thought to be the coolest thing if I could like, you know, like go to a different school. Like the Rock talked about this in his book and in his that show he did, where it's like you like he gave himself a new nickname because he moved, and like he gave him
Yeah.
and like it just fucking played that out and played that vibe out. And like that's what I figured Twitch is like. It's a new neighborhood to like start fresh and just like be
I
who
like
you want to
that.
be, whether it's like a character or your like true genuine self. But
Mhm.
I always felt like those two sides, either you're gonna do something that's like a character or like a expansion on your
Yeah,
personality,
yeah, yeah.
or be true to yourself. Those are the only two things that I think are like the best approaches to Twitch. And that's when I was like, well, let's try and make them both work, and that's how I
Fair.
turned into the Black Mario character.
I love that, which I always thought was is immensely entertaining. But we don't need to we don't need to go on about that. But well, so what are you up to these days on Twitch? Like, tell everybody real quick, and then I got some questions for you.
Yeah. On Twitch, so I just did a rebrand, which is it's not so much just focused on Twitch. It's kind of it's like actually, I think it's one of my biggest plays just for on a personal level for what I see myself doing and and what I see myself being as I get older, where it's more like a way to like start fresh and set up a complete brand for myself, and like
Yeah.
everything that anyone could like out of me or anything that I want to do, it's all under that umbrella
Mhm.
generally. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I rebranded basically everything, all my socials, all my content platforms and stuff, rebranded to Adam on Earth. And that's kind of what I'm doing, is just kind of breaking out of the character side of things and just focusing on the like true genuine self that I discovered over the fucking lockdown.
Hey, preach to that, brother.
We were all doing some soul searching.
Yeah, if not, dude, if you didn't rediscover yourself over the course of COVID, like you either have a real good job or you real blind to what's going on around. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, well, I mean, I've been loving it. You've been doing a lot more music stuff, which I think is, you know, music has touched your life the same way it's touched mine. So I always
Yeah.
love seeing shit like that. I love seeing everything that like you're doing, Young Gun, Matt Heafy, the Fallujah guys. Like, there's a lot of good guys on
Yeah.
Twitch. Justin from Zenith just started twitching. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't, but
Yeah, yeah, he's in that. He's my favorite goofy motherfucker on the face of the planet. So,
well,
what
I'll
were you
say
gonna say?
this. I'll say this. If any of them listen to this, I've been working on a couple cool ideas that I will be reaching out to some of those names in the near future.
Ooh, well, I'm excited to see what that is. But okay, so before I have some questions I ask every guest, but before we get to that, I gotta ask one thing, just because I know if I don't ask this question, I'm gonna get a bunch of bullshit in the comments.
Literally
Okay,
bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Just
yeah,
spell it out.
literally. So you know, obviously, like there's been you had a long career with Oceano. You had Super Hype, you had the Depths record, you had the Earache signing, you had the hiatus because of, well, you and I know why. We don't need to rehash that.
Mhm.
But you had the hiatus. You guys are back. You're on Sumerian. Like, what's next for Oceano? Like, you don't got to leak anything here. I'm not looking for the inside scoop. But what's good? Like, I'm sure we have people that are watching this because you're an Oceano. So like,
Yeah.
give them like a little nibble of something.
Yeah, I mean, if I be straightforward as possible, there's a just to preface, the band, the band has got kicked, dude. It's really like, what more can I fucking tell these people? I'm just joking. No, but like seriously, like I don't know. Maybe I'm more in tune to it. I feel the energy of the people that support me, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
certain degrees, whether they're saying it or not. I know the vibes. I'm pretty aware of the fucking scene, and how it just it
Mhm.
moves and morphs. So like um fuck, we never went, we never went away. Just to preface, like we never went away. Like I in my head, because I'm just a logical person, I always
Yeah,
feel that no news is better than bad news, right? So
yeah,
like, to me in my head, it's like I've seen plenty of bands, that have just kind of stopped for a second, like just a second or
yeah.
two, and then then they come back with some fire. And so that's how I would see, is like, wouldn't it be better to like just kind of like let it set for a second, you know, because there is a solid foundation already there, and like let it set for a
Yeah.
second while everyone's life is just fucking fucked, you know, especially
Yeah.
the metal scene, obviously, you know. So to me, it was like, you know, I think there was a lot of misunderstanding to
Mm.
like it's
Where
just
did you guys
it's
go?
just no news. Where do we go?
Yeah.
I mean, we just fucking
No,
stayed at home.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel
Oh,
like
okay, I
people
got
have
you, got you.
misunderstood. Like, where did they break up again? Like, what's going on? It's like, no, everyone, are you fucking? The world's
Yeah,
on fire. Where do you think
yeah,
your favorite band went? The world's on fire. Like, chill the
yeah.
fuck out. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
I think that you can't. I was because I've thought about it over the time too. That like it is still better that you know people are questioning what's going on than like who? Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
them. You know, so like to really look at it that way, you know, it's still like though we couldn't and haven't you know toured during any point of you know top of pandemic to well, what the
Hmm.
fuck this is. We you know I feel like we still there are people that like actually just cared, you know, and just wanted like a little like hey, but I always felt that like looking at me, you know, should be enough, you know, like
Yeah.
to show you. Which also I think just gets people for some reason scared because I'm doing a lot of things differently than like
Yeah.
any other metal vocalist has. So it's just like, oh my god, is he leaving this for that, this for that, this like no, bitch, like multitask. Come on.
All right. All right. Fair
So
answer. I love
there's
it.
my
I love it.
preface. Yeah, yeah. That's where we've been and just as far as like, you know, music goes, like I'm definitely pushing to get it in motion and we are in motion. It's just you know, once you like get slowed down like that, you know, it's hard to rev up because everyone's got to go back to like real life. You can't like string, you know, tours together and like
Hmm.
budget yourself between, you know, months and stuff. It's like you got to figure something out during the pandemic and so it's not as easy for
Yeah.
everybody to just you know as you're when an older band you know it's like it's harder to just like jump in and out of tour and work or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you're doing so that's kind of where it's at but we have like I did a song on stream, so that's a reason why people should be watching me on Twitch on Thursdays. I do vocal recording slash production. I'm not the best on the production side, but as far as ranges and pitches and structuring, that's what we focus on. So
Yeah.
I wrote a song on one of the streams, full song, vocal pre-pro. So that's the reason to check out my Twitch. So we
There you
are
go.
like vibing with that. Scott's got another song or two coming which we're structuring some things. So the gears are in motion. It's just, you know, we want to get enough music ready because you know, you can't fucking be gone for like 2 years and a whatever quarter, you know, and then be like, all right, hey, we're back. Like you gotta have some shit, you know. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We gotta
Yeah.
have some shit ready. So that's where we're
Good.
at.
Good. Well, I love the current lineup. I think you and Scott are like a perfect vibe, straight up. Like just if I'm just being real with you, like so I'm very excited to hear what's next. You know, like and I'm sure I know you probably get blown up about this all day, so we don't need to continue this part of the conversation. But I'm ready to hear it. I know everyone else is too, so
Yeah,
I'll be excited.
it's gotta be perfect.
We
As I
just need to
said.
do like a Kings of Deathcore tour, bro. You know what I mean? Like Knights of the Abyss is getting back together. Okay,
Nice.
you
Oh,
know,
I see.
I don't know who's gonna sing, but we'll get there. You know, but like let's just do like Despised, you know, Acacia Strain, Oceano, like Knights of the Abyss. Like, let's just make it happen. You know, like maybe see if we can resurrect Job for Cowboy from the grave. Who
They're
knows?
not dead. They never said it.
I know they never. Well, yeah, they never said it, but let's be real.
No. That is being real. I will not accept anything
Okay, that's
until
fine.
they
That's
say
fine.
we're done. Don't forget they did that gloom. They did drop gloom.
Oh, that's true. You're right. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. So,
Big job
all
for a
right.
cowboy
Well,
fan.
no. Hey. You know, especially being a West Coast kid, you know, I got nothing but love, dude.
Yo, Johnny, that's my top for like one of the best vocalists in the
Oh, all right.
genre.
I can respect that. I can
See that?
respect
Watch
that.
that motherfucker live. I saw that mother at a fucking. I think it was they jumped on a summer slaughter in AZ. I think, and like I just watched that motherfucker from literally my dick was on the stage, and I just watched him. And I was like, this man is fucking.
Was that early JFAC or late JFAC?
It was like it didn't make sense for them to be doing it. They had just, I think it was right on that Gloom time. I can't remember,
Okay.
but we were on Summer Slaughter, and they just hopped on, and it was tight.
Yeah.
It might have not even been that. It might have been New England Metal Fest. Even I don't know what the fuck
Oh,
it
okay.
was, but it was something I know, and that was, I've seen him plenty, but never as like a musician fan, you know, like OG, and just like he fucking is ridiculous.
One of my favorite shows that I've ever been to, Adam, and we used to have this little place in Santa Cruz called the 418 Project. And basically, if the band was big on MySpace, they have played that room, whether it was through
Nice.
me or one of my other homies who does shows. Listen to this lineup. Are you ready?
Yes.
Job for a Cowboy. It was Suicide Silence when the EP came out. Job for a Cowboy. The fucking Taste of Blood.
Ooh.
Right. And fucking, was it Nice? I think it was Knights of the Abyss. No, and yeah, and wow, I'm having like the hugest brain fart. It was Suicide Silence, JFAC, Taste of Blood. I can't remember who the fourth band was, and I feel really pissed off about this. Oh, it might have been All Shall Perish, actually.
I was thinking that. I was like,
I think it was All Shall Perish, and then fucking Moria opened the show. Like, just take me back in time and make me Groundhog Day that show. You know, like it'd be fucking perfect, bro. Like,
yeah,
no complaints there. You know.
yeah. If I had like, that was still early deathcore, so it's like, you know, honestly, you just had to be there, or else you weren't going to be there, because there was no way for you to know, you know, like, unless you were just in those scenes, how great those bands were, unless you were on MySpace, which you know, like you know, like none of us were at the age, probably, unless we were really fortunate, you just like be like, all right, I want to go to Cali, or like, you know, like Texas from the Midwest, you know, just because there's bands that are popping right now. You had to hope they were going to tour far enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they set up that show, I was like, dude, this is insane. Like, just, I mean, even just Taste of Blood, Job for a Cowboy, and Suicide Silence on the same bill is like, that's like nutty. And any of you listening to this, if you don't know who the Taste of Blood is, just listen to the fucking band. Like, I could tell you their accolades and like the members and shit. You know, it's like dudes that were in the Faceless and Animosity and Zenith Passage and like three other phenomenal bands. They shared a couple members with Arsonist at one point in time. You know, Chase has been in Scour and a bunch of other amazing projects since then. That, just listen to Taste of Blood. That's all you need to know. Like, just do it.
Who's the vocalist in that?
That was Derek.
Yeah.
Demon Carcass.
Hell yeah.
That's on so he was on the Faceless records after Accladema.
Nice.
So like what he did, what is it? Xeno, whatever the fuck it is. I can never pronounce that damn record.
Oh, I love that album.
He did like that record and I think the record or two after. He's currently singing for Zenith Passage right now.
He's in Zenith.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Greg has a family now. I love Greg. Still one of my favorite like local boy singers. But yeah, Derek, I believe, is doing all the Zenith work now. He was on the last single they just released. So
nice.
Yeah, but Derek sang for that band, and that's how he got started. You know, Chase was in that band and Animosity at the same time. You know, so shit rules, man. Shit rules. Band was good. Tribunal Records, man. That was the label none of us appreciated, I think.
Why is that?
I just, you know, they signed so many bands. I think everybody was like, "Oh, here we go." Tribunal signed another band. You know what I mean? But then, like, you look back, and it's like I never liked Kill Whitney Dead, but that band did a lot for the scene. You know what I mean? You know,
they were underground.
Yeah, but they paved the way for like a band like Ice Nine Kills, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, but they had almost every band now that people look back and are like obsessed with. You know, like probably had something to do with either Siege of Amadea or Tribunal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right, let's get on. Let's wrap this show. I didn't realize how long we've been chatting because you're just so lovely to talk to, Adam.
No sweat.
So lovely.
Enjoy it.
You're so lovely. All right. First question. What's your favorite color?
I have a few.
Okay, hit me with it.
Black, red, green, and blue.
Okay. I respect. That's the first multiple answer I've ever gotten.
That's like all of them. All the primaries, basically.
This is like my 48th or 49th episode. I don't even
Yeah.
fucking remember. And that's the first time I've gotten a multiple like that.
Really?
Sometimes they say one, they say two, sometimes, but everybody always right away has an answer.
Oh, I like a lot of flowers.
Purple's the leader right now.
Purple's a cool one.
And then green is second, and green's my favorite, so it works for me, you know. But all right. Favorite food?
A Mexican cuisine. The real
Excellent.
shit.
Oh, good. Okay, so I know you live in Utah now. What's your favorite food that you can only get on tour? I feel like it's probably the same answer you just gave me.
Trash.
You were so quick. I was like, wait,
what? All right. For real though.
For realsies, as I like to say.
Tasty trash or not. I think a good, well done, like California burrito, or like it's just you know what burrito I'm talking about, like all the, what is it, Betos or whatever, what are they called, Bertos, which one is it, they're all,
yeah,
but you know, like the burrito, it's just like, it's the longest thing and it's not too girthy, it's just right, you know, like it's just like and it's like it's got that powder on it. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Who knows, dude?
It's like they're fresh made tortillas. That's what they are. That's what it's like, the lingering flour.
Yo, if you ever spend time out here in the little beautiful town I live in, for any reason, Adam, there is a food truck, okay, here called El Volcan. All right, they do a California burrito, Adam. This is a fucking food truck. They make the fucking tortilla in front of you.
Oh
no, motherfucker! It gets better. They make the tortilla and they grill it up, and then they start cooking the meat, right? And as you're watching through the window, once the tortilla's done and they're starting to assemble the right before they start assembling everything, guess what they do? They fucking peel that motherfucking spud and they put it in the thing and they make the French fries in front of you.
Nice.
So the French fries and the tortilla are both handmade for your burrito.
Nice.
Bro.
It's all.
Have you ever blacked out from eating food?
No.
This was the only time I ever have. I may have had some drinks beforehand ahead of time as well.
Yeah.
But DeFonte came out and visited us. And he's like, I want a good California burrito. And we were in Salinas, and my buddy was like, oh, I know this place. Like, it's a truck. Don't worry about it. And we went, and it was just fucking, that's it, bro. That was the last thing I remember from the night, is eating that amazing burrito.
I already know. I hear his voice in my head at deep ass voice. Just, oh my God. I know that's what he did.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yes. No, yeah, that's yeah. Yes. All right. I love that. Dude, that's a good answer. We should have had a whole episode just about food, Adam.
I'm definitely fucking making burritos after this now.
Oh yeah, I got an appointment here in a little bit, and then after that, I'm probably just gonna go buy one.
Yeah,
but
send me a picture or something.
Oh, I will. Don't worry, I will. We should just only text each other burrito pics from now on. Like no words attached. Just like, here's the burrito I'm eating today.
Yeah, once we get like six to 10 burritos exchanged, I'm just gonna slide in a dick pic with my dick wrapped in a tortilla.
Oh my God!
See if you notice.
I'll be like, oh man, I'm extra hungry today. I wonder what happened. I wonder what fucking happened. All right. Couple more questions for you, my friend.
All right.
I know you are. Are you still not eating meat?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can't answer this one, it's fine.
Unless it's you.
Oh damn. Motherfucker. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
I still very much know the vibes and flavor. In and Out or Whataburger. I've had them plenty of times.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
I'm more of a guy of like, I'm more like, it's not just about, you know, I think they're both good burgers, like if you're talking
Okay.
about a burger, they're both good. So I'm also looking at menu, like the culture behind it and all that shit. And I think I like In and Out more because it's like they do wackier shit. And I'm more into that, like secret
Hmm.
menu shit and like, like and just like these weird, like what the fuck, that animal style, like
Yeah.
that's a unique thing, like that's something that like you would aspire to have in a jar, like it's super, super just like
Yeah.
like branded like culture within it, like for like everyone to become, like it's like secret codes or secret Easter eggs.
Yeah.
They have a lot of that kind of vibe to it, and that's what I like.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Did you know what the Flying Dutchman is there? It's the burger with no buns. And they call it the Flying Dutchman. I have no idea. Like literally they just put the patties on the wax paper for you.
Nice.
Like what's the point of that though? But you know
Uh,
what? It exists. It's wonky. You know, nobody knows you can get a Neapolitan. Wow, I cannot talk today. Neapolitan milkshake there
like
because it's not on
what
the
is
menu.
what they mix,
That's
they
it's strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate
and they
all
just mix them
together.
together for you.
Uh huh. But it's
Whoa,
not on
I
the
didn't know
menu,
that
so
one.
it's like, there you go. There you go. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just like you like, it's just like, it's almost in a sense like like using some, in a sense, like common sense, like like where it's like, oh, it's like in sparking your creativity because you might not know the name or the code
yeah,
name for it, but like if you're like, can I just get all those flavors mixed together for the shake? I'm like, yeah, why the fuck not, here you go, but it's like
yeah.
there's a code for it. That's what's
Hmm.
cool, and they're not
Hmm.
sharing it. It's just like either you're just gonna think about it or it.
I mean, my favorite thing about In and Out is still when you go to someone who's like a casual. Let's call them a casual In and Outer,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Yo, can I get a 4x4?" And they're like, "What? What's that?" I'm like, it's fucking 4 pieces of meat and 4 pieces of cheese, motherfucker. Like, what do you think it is? Like,
God
so okay,
damn.
okay, okay. This is a question I always ask the touring boys, all right, or girls, I should say. I shouldn't. You know, I have had one. I have had Kaylee on the show, so I got to get
Nice.
some more ladies. But that's not the point.
Ladies' night.
Sheets or Wawa?
This is a good one. I didn't
I
get
know, right?
as enthusiastic about those places as most, but I still can appreciate them
Mhm.
when you're in that area late night. Uh Sheets or Wow. Dude, they're both, I think they're both pretty solid. There's That's a tough bout. I'm gonna say Sheets though, because Sheets consistently on multiple occasions has given us like free shit, and or I've had the most like, I don't know, like I felt safer in Sheets across
Okay.
the regions. Not to say it's a, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
just the Sheets had always a better vibe to me, like whether it's
Correct.
day or night, in everyone I've gone into, even if the area was kind of like, sketch. Wawa can sometimes I felt like Wawa standard kind of sometimes got closer to like a 7-Eleven sometimes.
Mm, mm.
And
I feel the same way.
do you really?
Oh, yeah. I'm Team Sheets like all the way. That 4 cheese mac and cheese, I would stab someone for. You know what I mean? Like the little robot kiosks. I know everybody hates that shit.
Yes.
I think it's fucking, and you
No.
can be so customizable. It's so easy. Like,
Yeah.
and they've had that shit for like a decade, and everyone's like freaking out that McDonald's is getting kiosks and you can't
True.
customize anything. And I'm like, well, it's definitely possible because Sheets has been doing it. I don't know. I'm just gonna say since the dawn of time. You
Yeah,
know, so
they're ahead of the game. Yeah, maybe that's another thing. Like I can appreciate the tech advancements. They've like always been kind of ahead of the game. And they were primed already for like pandemic. Just keep those fucking screens clean. They are already like,
Yep.
don't even fucking talk to me. Like, I'm just cooking the food, you know? Every like, I would always
Which
like
is
when like band dudes would come through, it's like, leave them alone, dude. They're in the zone and they're gonna make that
yeah,
shit good because they don't have to
they
fuck
did.
with anything.
They
Yeah.
did. So I always tell this story. I'm sure the people that watch the show consistently are tired of hearing me talk about Santa Fe Grill. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, so in New Mexico, there's the big gas station chain is called Pit Quick.
Mhm.
Okay, inside these every Pit Quick, there's something called Santa Fe Grill. It's literally like, I don't even think it's a 10 by 10 box, but it's just like a fridge, two sets of shelves, and a grill, and then like a little window. You walk in the gas station to order a burrito that's made for you in the gas station. Now, 95% of the people I tell about this, they're like, dude, a gas station burrito, like, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? But they have like, I think it's like over 60 flavor combos, Adam. And they just two spatulas, that's it. That's it. And they just grill everything right in front of you. And it's like, I will stand that place till the day I die, dude. Like, they make a burrito called the Medicine Man with like homemade green chili queso in it that they make there, like on the premise. I, there's not very many things I would not trade for that one of those burritos. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, those guys. I haven't been to that one, I don't think, but like just can't come, like come across a few of those. Like they're not really gas station chains that
Mhm.
have those like that serve you the breakfast, the desayunos, like
Yeah.
like fucking cooked. It's like they got a family business inside the gas station, and they're
Yes.
just those places are the ridiculous.
They're usually honestly the best.
Yeah.
It's like look at Waffle House. Like, everybody clowns on Waffle House, but that's the best goddamn breakfast you're gonna get on tour.
Yeah, it's yeah, if you're looking for like the closest to a home cooked thing,
Yeah,
like
like if you want home cooked and it's not expensive, like if you don't go to Waffle House, what the fuck are you doing? You're living your life
yeah.
wrong.
I feel
You know what
like
I mean?
though, like the vibes though at certain ones, it's kind of like Waffle House is sick. I love it, but at times, depending on which ones you go to, and I lived in Georgia for quite a bit too as a kid. It's like I ate there so much, and it's like some of them feel like Walmart Denny's
Yeah.
and Denny's, but Denny's at the same time, depending on where you go, can get a little but that's I guess that's the thing, there's no Target, like
Mhm,
or
mhm.
like fucking what is it, Whole Foods to like any of that type of travel
No.
cooking shit. You gotta like you're taking a gamble every one you walk into, but
Yeah, true.
it's worth it if you just are street smart.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. All right. Two questions left for you, my man. Two, just two.
Yeah.
The first one is, if you had to choose like an up and coming or like a new or like a younger band, like who are you listening to right now? Like, who do you think anybody that watches this should check out? And it could be more
Whoa.
than one. It could be more than one band if you want, or group, or it could be a singer songwriter. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if we're going cross genre, um what is I'm actually gonna find it real quick. I'm literally looking.
No, yeah, you're good. You take your time.
It's a number. That's the thing. I'm not like it's so ridiculous to like remember all these fucking like a number as a name.
Yeah,
It's like
oh
weird.
yeah.
It's like weird. Yeah. Damn, it might be hard. It's like seven. It's I hate it. I hate it so much that they did a fucking number combination. It's so stupid. Dude, I don't know. So I guess moving past that one, it's just really rough. I haven't been listening to a lot of like heavy stuff. It's been kind of like a lot of like R&B, rap, and trap soul type stuff.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
other genres like fucking like really chill reggaeton and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I know one. This artist I've been listening to Thames. Yeah, Thames is pretty tight as far as
Okay.
like an artist overall. Nigerian singer, really sick. Um, it's really chill vibe. As far as like heavier stuff, it comes at me so quick, and I think there's this one band. that our mod on Twitch showed me. What's his name? Oh, shout him out. Where is it? Their name. I suck at like these names and shit. Damn it, it's so ridiculous. Okay, so there's bands that I'm working with. We'll go with that. I suck at like remembering names when I'm like not a big, it's like super locked in on them yet.
Yeah.
But oh yeah. So there's certain like like lesser known bands that I'm just kind of working with because I think they're sick, or we've done some cool things on Twitch to link up and stuff. So actually, I'm doing this. I did this song with this band called Serling, and they're pretty sick because they're like influences like old mathcore, like like
Okay.
Ion Dissonance, Tony Danza, Tap Dance Extravaganza, like that kind of vibe. So I did a
Shout out
song.
to the boy. Shout out to the boy Josh Travis,
Oh yeah, of course.
the baby girl.
Yeah. I feel like that band is like stuff like that. I've honestly just been getting into just stuff, bands that deserve a listen, like just really
Okay.
like that you would never expect maybe me to even be like, yo, I want to work together, or like like stuff like that. Like just bands that like are at a point where like I was at one point, where it's like it's harder even now, just like get the attention of somebody, it's like so it's like cool to have people that have been around fuck with you, at least check you out. So that's kind of where I've been at.
Yeah.
Mostly like when people show me metal stuff on stream, I'm usually hoping they're gonna show me their personal music or projects or something that's like on the up and up. So that's usually what I've been doing. Okay, another band, really sick. It's not metal though. The Nightlife. They're from Philly. I've been watching them for a minute.
Ooh.
That's
Okay.
yeah. If they ever listen to this, I really want to collab with them at some point. It's so sick.
That's sick.
Nightlife. Yeah,
I'll
it
check
is
them out.
Nightlife. It's just Nightlife. Yeah, they're really
I'll
cool.
check
If you
them out.
like what's that? If you like Bad Rabbits, they're
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like they have that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Bad Bunny, Bad Rabbits, the band. Yeah, those are a couple few that shows my like guess my range. It's just like a little tinge of heavy lately, but just discovering new artists and new music as much as I can.
Yeah. Um. And then, well, one last thing.
Yeah,
This is the tough question. Okay.
doubt it. Is it tough
So
for you to ask or tough for me to
no,
answer?
no, no. Probably tough for you to answer.
All right, that
Well,
one's
I mean,
better.
actually, this might be easy for you because I do know you pretty well. So, um, basically, I have guests on this show. Like, we don't. I try not to do the typical questions. I feel like we ended up doing some of the typical shit with you, but that's fine. It's all good. I know the listeners are gonna like it. Um, part of the reason I started to do this show is so people could get to know me better because it's not
Ah,
just like, oh, Joel from Pinup or the facade they see on the internet or whatever the shit. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, like, what is something about you? It can be a hobby, a characteristic, or a personality trait. What is something about you that you wish more people knew about you? Like, like there's something, maybe something you do for you or something that is special to you that you don't always talk about on your streams or isn't common knowledge about you, like something that really resonates with you internally that you don't necessarily express externally.
I mean, I'm pretty open at this point. I haven't really hid any side of myself since I like started pushing harder in like Twitch, YouTube, and all, and especially now with my rebrand. I'm pretty. If you care to know about me or like what I'm into, I show it. You know, in a lot of the things I do. So
Okay.
I guess the only thing I could say that's connected to that, if some of those things weren't shown that I'm already showing, is I guess it's just my desire to not be only known as a metal vocalist. I very much connect with artists like Prince, Freddie Mercury, and and others that kind of just broke the boundaries of genres and truly define themselves as musicians, hands down heavyweight champs in the vocal realm, and just like true creatives, because they weren't so focused on staying in one lane as an artist. They were more focused on showing all of their influences as a whole, and in focusing on certain projects to do that however they see fit. So I think the only thing that I guess people don't know about me is that I'm not just a metal vocalist, though that's what I'm best known for and have the most
Yeah.
experience in, is just the fact that in hopefully coming months to years, I will have established myself as something more of a multi-genre musician that has more of a fluid movement between genres and projects. And I really just want to be known as a quality creative person, or a quality musician, or a quality vocalist that can
Okay.
adapt and grow and collaborate with multiple different styles and different artists, because that's my only quest that I ever set out to do when I picked up a mic, was just to contribute to all of the creative spaces that I've been immersed in.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That is
Thanks.
like a more in-depth answer than I expected to get, which makes me even happier.
That's all I got, unfortunately. It's
No, you're
deep.
good, bro. I love it, dude. I love it. All right, Adam, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. Everybody, there's probably a lot of new people watching because of Adam. Thank you for checking out the show. I'm Joel Cupcake. If you have not figured that out yet, I don't know what to
You're
tell
a
you.
dumbass.
What do you say?
It's right
Adam,
there.
Adam, how can everybody find you on social media if they're interested in giving you the follow if they don't already?
You can just search Adam on Earth, and that should give you me on every platform: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. No Pornhub.
No? Oh, well,
No.
why the fuck did I have you on the show?
I think we're not supporting Pornhub anymore. I can't remember which one it is.
Oh wait, no,
but
you know what? I think you're right. Actually, not.
yeah, so I'm already boycotted it. I'm not on there. But don't look any
Word.
other places,
All right.
because you might not be happy with what you find.
All right. Well, everybody, this has been another wonderful episode of Joel Cupcake Live with Adam Warren, the man himself. He's here. There he is. Thanks for tuning in, Adam. Thank you so much for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
It was a blast. Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you guys all later. See you next episode. Don't forget to follow the show on social media. It's at Joel Cupcake Live. Pretty easy to remember that, right? 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 All right.